Guys, I have a confession to make, and honestly, I hate to say it, but I think we owe all of y'all a huge apology. Now, it's come to my attention recently that there may have been some, confusion regarding the transaction processing capabilities in the Devve ecosystem. So I want to set the record straight once and for all. Now, previously we explained to you guys that the Devve ecosystem can handle 8 million transactions per second, and contrary to those statements, Devve can actually handle an infinite number of TPS, way more than 8 million. So again, you have my most humble apologies, and I'll make sure that we never let it happen again. What's happening, guys? My name's Austin, and today I wanted to discuss horizontal scaling with you guys and why the Devve ecosystem is perfectly structured to meet the rigorous demands of any business or organization. Now, it's understandable that a ton of people within our community initially became aware of Devve due to the impressive figures that we were putting forth. However, we recognize that conveying the true essence of our key terms has been a bit challenging for new community members to grasp. Now, in this edition of the Devve download, I want to provide a more in-depth explanation of the scalability of Devve and also shed some light on our unique blockchain solution so you guys get a better understanding of what's actually under the hood. Now, horizontal scalability, that refers to the ability of a system to increase its capacity by adding additional nodes to the network, thereby allowing the functions it can perform to run in parallel with one another. A good analogy of this is the expansion of a highway. So we can make a major highway able to handle more cars by simply adding more lanes. But eventually what's going to happen is it's going to get so wide that there's nowhere else to go. And that's essentially what vertical scaling is, to make the one singular highway as efficient as possible. Now, the alternative solution and the solution that Devve uses is to actually add more highways. And what that does, it distributes the traffic and it makes every single roadway less congested and more efficient in the process. And that's an example of horizontal scaling. Now, what's cool about this, though, is unlike traditional highways, these digital highways, or we'll call them shards, they aren't limited by how much land there is to build on. They can be spun up almost ad infinitum, provided the hardware exists to do so. Now, with Devve, increasing the transaction throughput per application follows these exact same principles. Where more TPS is required, you simply add a new shard, and that's why we call it infinitely scalable. Now, each shard or independent blockchain is customized to meet the specific requirements of the underlying application. These requirements can vary anywhere from low throughput, high security to high throughput and low security. The only consideration really is cost. Do you need to run multiple shards with such high security to achieve your requirements? Or is one fast shard enough for you in such applications like, let's say, a blockchain game? Now, historically, the challenges leading to the blockchain trilemma, which have been speed, security, and decentralization, have stemmed from forcing all transactions to go through a single mainnet, which forces compromise really between critical aspects of security and scalability. Furthermore, this also simply ignores any flexibility to operate across multiple regulatory frameworks, which is absolutely necessary for any global scale enterprise. Through the unique horizontal scalability and sharding architecture at the core of Devve, enterprises no longer need to make such compromises. Now, you can build your shard tailored to your individual needs, infinitely scale up throughput by adding additional shards, and create cross-jurisdictional compliance as required for your company. Now, let me give you a kind of a for instance here, right? Let's take application, XYZ, call it what you want. Let's say they have 5 million users, and at their peak max throughput, they need roughly 5,000 transactions per second. Now, without compromising on their security, the developer can actually spin up 5 individual blockchain shards, each able to handle 1,000 transactions per second. Now, if the application's demand, let's say, increases to 6,000, all they need to do is add another shard. It's literally that simple. So potentially what they can do is they can scale up to a theoretically infinite number of shards until computational and networking resources are exhausted. So you might be asking yourself, what's up with the 8 million TPS cross-shard mechanism? And that's a damn good question. Using the scenario above, let's imagine the user base for the above enterprise is spread evenly across 5 separate jurisdictions, each of which have their own shard and they're tailored to meet their own local data privacy laws. When a wallet hosted on the French shard wants to send a transaction to a US-based wallet, this requires the settlement via the cross-shard mechanism. If the user sends a transaction from a local French wallet to another French wallet, this is validated by the shard's consensus mechanism and does not require the cross-shard mechanism at all. Therefore, to calculate the overall throughput capable in the entire Devve ecosystem, you have to look at and really consider the 8 million TPS cross-shard mechanism as the enabling mechanism that connects and infinitely scales the application ecosystem. There's no demand that we can't scale to meet. In essence, the scalability of Devve, it far exceeds any foreseeable human demand. However, this is not to say that, future advancements may not introduce additional cross-shard mechanisms, but what that would do is it would pave the way for revolutionary applications yet to be conceived. To put this in another way, there isn't a need in this space that Devve can't currently fill in a way that's elegant, effective, and tailored to the needs of the project involved. Thanks for tuning in, my friends. My name's Austin, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Take care.